After years of requests, Izotope has finally released a new version of one of the most requested plugins. And our recent update to Pro Tools hints that they are finally considering electronic music producers. Is it too late? We will discuss that in a second. Not everything is fun though, because Tone 2 announced that they will stop developing new plugins due to toxic culture. Moreover, the music world watches closely as Warner Music acquires TuneCore's parent company, Believe, in the middle of a big controversy. Today, we explore the layers behind these stories, so hop in. You see this? This is the trash. That's where all your music is going to go. It is going to go in the trash. And I promise you, it will only make it better than ever. This week, Izotope dropped a whole big stinking load of trash on everyone, and I loved it. A few months ago, the company announced that they had stopped support of Thrash 2, one of their most loved plugins. The rumors at the time were that a new version, Thrash 3, was going to be coming out, and they finally delivered on the promise. With Izotope now being the part of the Native Instruments family, I bet R&D budgets have expanded. And if this is any indication of what is to come, I can't be more excited. The update, now just called Thrash, and dropping the version from the title, updates the UI from 2012 to the more familiar Izotope image from Ozone and their other plugins. It is not only about the looks though. There is a lot of new features to this plugin. The new Thrash includes a modular design, and the new convolution engine has also multiband capability. So you can blend 4 different modules to get even more creative with your distortion and convolution. On top of this, there are even envelope followers that allow you to adjust the filter module to shape even more of the sound. And finally, they have also added a scream and heat self-oscillating filter that enhance the distortion even further. The reactions are a bit mixed. Some people like the old design, some people like the new design. Let me know on the comment below how you feel about the new Thrash. What about the pricing? While this isn't a cheap plugin with a cost of €85, there are upgrades available for previous Thrash customs for just €30, and they have even released a free light version if you don't mind the limitations. With the last week's big release of Ableton Live 12, it had become increasingly obvious that Pro Tools was feeling older than Carl Cox DJing to 20-somethings in Ibiza. Avid has done something about this by updating their flagship product to version 2024.3 and added features that I actually am kind of surprised they didn't have previously. The new MIDI chains allow you to route MIDI through third-party MIDI effects plugins, as well as to different channels in your session. They didn't have this one? How come? There are also 3 new MIDI effects that they are calling Note Stack, Pitch Control, and Velocity Control that generate, transform, and randomize various settings. On top of the Pro Tools branded plugins, they've also partnered with Audio Modern, Modellix, and Pitch Innovations to bundle plugins from these companies into the DAW for free. One final big feature addition is Atmos support that will help you get your track rendered in Dolby Atmos for spatial audio compatibility. Many of these features have been standard in other DAWs for years. So this just brings Pro Tools up to date without really pushing the software into new territories. Remember that Avid now in private equity ownership hands, so this could be just the first in several upcoming updates that are scheduled to try to push Pro Tools back into the mainstream, especially between electronic music producers. We will see if they will be able to make the DAW a groundbreaking software again. 95% of the people who is watching our videos haven't subscribed yet. We are a small channel and we really do need your help. If you enjoyed the video, please consider like and subscribe and ring the bell. It really helps a ton. Tone 2 has released some extremely well-designed synth plugins over the last 25 years. Their most well-known is the wavetable synth Icarus that is receiving a huge update in April. So it is a very surprising news that they have announced they are no longer going to be developing any new products from the ground up and shifting focus to only doing sound sets and updates for existing products. The founder, Marcus Krauss, gave an extremely detailed and personal message on KVR forum last weekend explaining the surprise decision. Some of the details are very nasty, and he has been harassed, defamed, and trolled by what he claims are very over-emotional, nasty, drunken, high customers. Yowzers. He even claimed that the stress has caused him health issues and even led to his divorce, which is all extremely sad. In 2024, it is hard to go to any place on the internet and not find a seed underbelly of messages and replies to anything from videos to forum posts. It is a sad state when one of the prevailing pieces of an advice is don't read the comment section for artists and creators. I hope we can do all better in the future, and we wish nothing but the best to Marcus and his family. Please do what you can do to support independent plugin makers. I have some amazing free tools for you to check out this week, including, you guessed it, a new cute animal, an AI device from a programmer known for hardware modeling, reverb for days and days, and something really psycho. Analog Obsession is known for releasing hardware modeled plugins. From compressors to Pultec EQs, professional producers have oftentimes cited using their devices. This week, they released a new plugin, and the statement is that this is the first machine plugin that they are doing. Moma is a mojo box, which isn't quite an EQ or a saturator, but a combination of the two that adds warmth, character, and creative flair to your sounds. With a very simple interface that only has 3 knobs, it will add harmonics, then lets you adjust how much of the process is applied, and then a parallel processing knob for mixing a dry and wet signal. How machine learning is applied isn't actually stated in the description of the device, so I will just call it magic and assume some AI is waving a wand behind the scenes. If you want to know more, head out to Analog Obsession's Patreon page linked below, where he gives away all his plugins for free. Although I do think he's worth supporting if you can spare $1 or $2. Alright Vox, if you're out there and listening to me, stop it. Just stop it. I don't know how much more of this cuteness I can take. Based on the current release pattern, I really hope we are not going to keep getting a plugin a week from Vox, but if that is their plan, I really can't complain. This week's release is a rainbow bird. Just look at them. They have outdone themselves this time with a free EQ plugin that I really do wish that bird was flying up to my windows these days. Yeah, it's winter in Sweden, so tell me Vox, what is coming next? Are you really going to release something next week? I have to say the naming process for the next company really nailed it with their company, Psycho Circuitry. That's very cool. Released 3 new plugins this week. Microx Former is a distortion plugin that allows you to adjust the brittle or spongy. Wait, did they just call their distortion spongy? They are really psycho. Oh, is my mic on? Called the hysteresis character, you can adjust the contour shapes of the distortion as well as selecting if you want a more modern or vintage character to your sound. Mini-Opt, on the other hand, is a compressor plugin. That is an optical model compressor that adds harmonic saturation and can do oversampling for additional character control. And finally, Big Bad Tube is a tube distortion that can drive the sound in that warm direction. There are paid plus versions of each device that add additional features to free versions, and I have linked all 3 below for you to test and check out. Our new free plugin is coming from a brand new plugin maker, Newsoft, with their first release, Saucer. The reverb plugin was designed to create a bow sound, or rather something that comes from a string instrument played with a bow, like violin. And they do this by inputting a plug sound, like guitar, and freezing the reverb. You can control the length of the feedback tail and push the timeout, which controls the tail of the reverb to very long timings. This means if you essentially want to freeze the sound and create endless drones, it is possible, as well as adjusting the LFO rate to create something similar to a bow going back and forward on a string. There is even a nondescript bow mix knob. Does anyone know what that does? No? No idea? But it sounds like it might be fun to play with anyway. So go get your frozen verbs on. This is of course also linked in the description below. Okay, let's accept AI can do a lot of very cool things. It can also be pointed to do ridiculous things. Have you ever listened to Better Off Alone, or maybe enjoy the silence, or how about Cry Me a River and thought to yourself, this would sound much better if Tylor Swift was singing this? No? Yeah, me neither. But that is what one university student wrote a paper fearing AI may do in the future. What a nightmare. So this is what they do in university now. Nick Collins, the author of the Swift Apocalypse paper, what a cool name for a paper, thinks the likelihood of a rogue AI Swiftifying all songs ever made is extremely slim, but not zero. To show that this could in fact be done in the future, Collins even made Swift versions of Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody and Frank Sinatra's I've Got You Under My Skin and the Beach Boys Wouldn't It Be Nice. Luckily, those haven't been released onto the public at this time, and we hope they never see the light of the day. I'm kidding, they can release it. Collins said that it will take 1.67 billion kilowatt-hours of electricity and cost more than 266 million to make AI covers of all recorded music ever. This kid really did the math. That's kind of crazy. You can find almost anything on TikTok these days, and this week a raving savant decided he had the rules for a lasting raving relationship. We commend Brad, our raving scion, with putting these standards out there for the public to see. His quest for love requires the following: a wedding song that is takeout instead of some slow love song, honeymoon in Ibiza, rave dates, anniversaries at raves each year, birthdays at raves, makeup raving after arguments, my personal favorite, kids required to be taught raving, and finally more rave dates. The post received just shy of 3 million views in 3 days, with responses that are equally as hilarious as his request. Did he found a partner? How is that going? So, if you think he is the right raver for you, based on these requirements, you better hurry, as I am sure with that much attention, love is right around the corner. Or rave? Love rave? No, the love is in Berlin? In the club? Not around the corner. TuneCore, a distribution platform for artists, has been caught up in the news lately for pulling artist tracks from major platforms for no reason. Recently, band Jordan posted about his struggles with the company. Weaver Beats straight up called them a fraud company, and many more YouTubers and site reviewers calling them out for bad business practices. That doesn't seem to have slowed down Warner Music from negotiating to buy the parent company Believe. Obviously, Believe is more than just TuneCore, but with Warner paying a premium of $17 per share for Believe, a total of 1.65 billion euros, this is a sizable investment in a company with not the best reputation right now. The purchase price is 10% over the current stock price for Believe and represents a strong belief by Warner that TuneCore and Believe will present a financial gain for the company. Of course, I hope this resolves some of the issues that artists have faced with the TuneCore, as the stories regarding what had been done with the artists losing back catalogs is kind of horrifying. Band's own journey of fighting TuneCore and getting his work restored without an apology from the company is worth going to check out on his channel. Tell us what you think of this below in the comments. Is it a good thing that Warner may clean up TuneCore's act? Or is this just going to make them have more money to do worse for smaller artists? Let me know. In a video of events you will see on YouTube or other platforms today, you see rows and rows of cell phones being held in the air recording the performance. If you are like Solomon and just want people to drop their phones and dance, there might be a technology that you will appreciate. Covered, a London-based company, have introduced Drop Highlight, which is meant to hopefully help keep phones from being held high in the air. When entering the club, a QR code will be available that will allow any attendee of the event to download professional taking video from any number for paid videographers that are hired to cover the night. The following day, when all the footage is uploaded, if you have scanned the QR code, you will have access and given free rights to post anything that was captured from that night before. Let's accept, while this won't stop selfie taking or dancing videos, it should help people stay more focused on enjoying the moment and not worried about capturing video for the gram. In our second Tylor Swift related story of the day, she really is everywhere. The UK's Office for National Statistics announced that vinyl record prices will be used to calculate inflation. Wait, how is Tylor responsible for this, you might ask? Easy. Tylor's 1989 album sold more copies in the vinyl and pushed the total records sold to 5.2 million units higher than any time since 1990. 1992 was the last year that ONS had used vinyl prices to calculate inflation. But as retro as it seems, they are adding it to the 743 items they use to determine the country's inflation levels. Other items on the list include air fryers, spray oil, and gluten-free bread, while hand sanitizers were removed this year due to lack of sales post-COVID. Items rotate often, so we will see how long vinyl stays on the list this time around. Okay folks, I really don't think it's the best idea in the world to bring a baby to club, even if it is advertised as all ages. If you absolutely can't find a babysitter and you just can't stand missing out your favorite DJ, definitely don't go online the following day and do what this lady did, and what can only be described as full Karen meltdown. A mom in Spokane went to an event at an intimate venue for Z's death and brought her 10-month-old with her. Reports were that the venue was small and completely sold out. Regardless of this, the mom complained that people smacked her randomly a few times, spilled a drink on her, and were very rude. The online response has been extremely swift in reminding that 10-month-olds have developing hearing and probably shouldn't be in that environment on sound alone. So overall, this hasn't gone over well at all. Even though a show says all ages, I think there should be some common sense used in not bringing a child under a year to this type of an event. In any case, please don't be a Karen and let's be smarter in the future for the children's sake.